According to new FCC rules implemented under President Obama, internet providers like AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon need to obtain consumer consent before they sell your data to third parties. So this is, that's obviously a good idea. In other words, what they do is they have all this information about you because of what you do online, but they can only share geolocation and financial information and health information and your kids' information and web browsing history for advertising. So they can only sell it to other companies and internal marketing with your consent. So they can't just collect all your data and give it to the world because they have a financial incentive to give it to the world. If they have your data, they have to not share your data unless they ask you and you say, you know what, go ahead and share that data. Well, guess what? The Republicans just repealed those rules. It passed 50 to 48 in the Senate. It was all Republicans for it. All the Democrats opposed it. And these guys are scumbags. So remember, whenever they talk about like, oh, we care about your privacy in the Constitution, they don't. Because number one, they're all in favor of NSA spying. So you can't even make the argument, well, they're talking about the government shouldn't have your information. No, because they want the government to have it too. They all favor NSA spying. But furthermore, now they're also saying, yeah, let's have all the corporations have all the information about you all the time and let them sell it to third parties because your data is valuable and, it helps them financially to do so. And it's just it's intrusion into your life without your consent. And they don't even think twice about it because they're so bought and owned by the corporations that they think, yeah, totally. That's whatever the corporations want, we'll do. It's unreal. So I want you to, now that you know all the facts about what happened, listen to how Mitch McConnell explained that. Here's what he said, quote, "The Senate was overturning a regulation that makes the internet an uneven playing field, increases complexity, discourages competition, innovation, and infrastructure investment." He deserves a Guinness World Record for bullshit based on that. Infrastructure investment, you said? This is discouraging innovation, and that this is an uneven playing field. We want to make it an even playing field. So in other words, if you voluntarily give your information to, let's say, Netflix, he says, no, you gave it to Netflix, that's uneven. I want you, Netflix, to then turn around and give it to fucking Toys R Us and 9,000 other different companies. I don't know why I went with Toys R Us. 9,000 other different companies that are going to have your information even though you didn't give it to them. Fuck that, man. They're just, it's like the House of Representatives and the Senate. It's like they exist to fuck you over repeatedly. I mean, it's like they're reliably wrong about everything. And it drives me so crazy. How can this be? How can this be? You're just going to brazenly fucking roll back internet privacy rules and act like there shouldn't be a backlash, or that somehow you're right for doing it because the regulation makes the internet uneven and increases complexity and discourages competition and innovation and infrastructure. That's the sound of the bullshit literally coming out of Mitch McConnell's mouth. Bullshit. Fuck you guys, man. Fuck these Republicans who did this. This is unbelievable. So wait until net neutrality falls next. Oh. That's probably even worse. Net neutrality. And the Republicans are trying to gut it. They've been trying to gut it all along. So Obama had these FCC rules, and there was a big scandal under Obama that maybe he would get rid of it, but he didn't. In the end, he did the right thing. They had these FCC rules that say that the internet needs to be treated like a public utility, and you have to have basically equal access, even access across the board to all the different sites on the internet. And the Republicans said, no, we don't want that. What we want is the internet service providers like AT&T, Comcast, Verizon, and the rest of them, Time Warner. We want them to be able to have the right to slow down and speed up access to different websites that they want to. Now, the way the Republicans frame this, again, is freedom of the internet. That's what we believe in. We believe in net neutrality. They pretend like they believe in net neutrality by saying that, because they say those companies should have the right to do that. You're using their services, so they should have the right to speed up and slow down wherever the fuck they want. Well, they really believe that because they're bought off by those companies. But what end up happening is those internet service providers would just start demanding basically bribes from the different companies to get their service sped up, or in reality, just to keep the speed the same. What you're really doing, they pretend like it's creating an internet fast lane. No, what you're doing is you're creating an internet slow lane. Because instead of every site having the speed it currently has now, if you don't pay your bribes to the internet service provider, they'll just slow your speed down. And if they slow your speed down, they're essentially limiting access to your site. And who knows to what extent they would go. I mean, would some internet service providers now view this as a right to just shut off access to certain sites that they don't like? So you basically further solidify the corporatocracy, and yes, shut down free speech too. Because, who knows, if you got people like me who go after these big corporations all the time, maybe they go, there's some dissenting voices here, slow down to their sites, or shut off access to their sites. So it's a disaster, and the Republicans are doing that. And watch for this trick, because it's coming. As they do that, they're going to say that the Democrats are basically in favor of doing that. They are going to flip it. They're going to say the Democrats want the tyrannical government to determine what happens with the internet and yada yada. That's what they always say. And the Republicans will say, we're for the freedom of the internet and net neutrality. That's what we're for. That's not what they're for. What they're for is what I just explained to you. Allowing the internet service providers to speed up and slow down sites. In reality, just slow down sites that they don't like, who don't pay their bribes. So just remember all that as we move forward here, because there's going to be a lot of propaganda and a lot of misleading information.